If your Wi-Fi or wireless connections feel slow, it's not your internet, it's your network. And most people set this up completely wrong. So on today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a home network that's fast, reliable, and yes, very secure. I'm Michael Scott. Let's get into it. This video is broken down into chapters so you can easily rewatch or skip different parts of the video. Alright, step 1 is the plan. Before we start building our home network, we need to have a plan. This includes a few things. How big is your home? 1 story? 2 story? Maybe a basement? How many people live in your home? What are the ISP options for your neighborhood? How fast will your internet be? How many wired connections do you need? And how about Wi-Fi coverage areas? And don't forget about IoT devices like thermostats, cameras, and lights. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and help me get to 100,000 subscribers. Thanks. Alright, step 2 is the ISP. This is where it gets fun. What ISP plan will you choose? Cable, fiber, DSL, maybe Starlink? This decision determines how fast or slow your internet will be. So choose wisely. The best advice I can give you is go as fast as you can afford. No one ever says my internet is just too fast, or I hate those fast download speeds. Faster speeds will save you time when streaming movies, downloading content, and online gaming. And if you work from home, faster speeds means better productivity. Happy boss, happy life. So don't pick the cheapest plan. Alright, step 3 is the hardware, and this is where it gets real, because most home networks need the same hardware. You need a fiber ONT or cable modem, a wireless router, and maybe a switch for additional wired connections. You may also need access points or mesh nodes for additional Wi-Fi coverage areas, especially in large 1-story homes or 2-story homes, or maybe homes with basements. But there is a bit of good news. Your cable modem or fiber ONT is usually provided for free from your ISP. They may offer you a modem router combo, but I would tell them no, because having your own router gives you more options and freedom for full customization. Now let's talk about routers. Just like your ISP, my best advice for you is to buy the best router you can afford. Wi-Fi 7 routers have become quite affordable now, and Wi-Fi 7 means you're ready for the future. No one ever says, my router is just too fast. So don't go cheap on your router, because your router is the brains of your home network. A mid-tier wireless router can cover up to 1,500 square feet, which is a small home, condo, or apartment. The hardware example on my desk is a VPN router with no Wi-Fi plugged into a switch. From the switch, you plug it into a PoE injector, and from a PoE injector, you plug into the access point. This access point will give us Wi-Fi coverage. And this access point is powered by PoE, Power over Ethernet. And this requires a PoE injector or a PoE switch. And the last device on this desk is a NAS, Network Attached Storage. These are fantastic for storing files, or maybe having a Plex media server. And these are just some examples of hardware you could choose for your home network. And speaking of setup, step 4 is the setup. Once you purchase the ISP plan, your company will come out and set up the cable modem or fiber ONT and then test the connection. Your responsibility is to connect the modem to the router. And this is done with an Ethernet cable from the modem to the WAN port on the back of the router. I recommend using Cat 6 or any category higher. Okay, make sure the router's turned on, then you can access the device with the information that's on the back of the router. Each router brand is different, but most of these routers can be set up using your smartphone. So download the software for your brand of router, connect to the router using the default SSID and password, then launch the app and go through the setup process. This takes around 5 or 10 minutes. And one important thing to note, make sure your new admin password is 16 characters or longer, with a mix of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. The longer the password, the better. This will keep the hackers away. Okay, step 5 is setting up the wireless network. This is the SSIDs and passwords. Each router brand is different, depending on if you buy Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, or Wi-Fi 7. These routers will separate the bands into different SSID, and some brands will combine the 2.4 and the 5 GHz band into one band, and this is called Smart Connect. Your router may also have a 6 GHz band and an MLO band. And don't forget about IoT networks and guest networks. They each have their separate band. During the setup process, the app will ask you to verify the SSID and password. And from here, you can make the changes. And you should. Do not use the default SSIDs or passwords. That would be a huge security risk. So remember, always change your default SSID and passwords. And make sure the password is 16 characters or longer. Okay, step number 6 is connecting the home to the wired network. This is the part that makes it all come together. Remember step 1, the plan? This information determines what you need to do and how to install it. Most wireless routers have 1 WAN port and 4 LAN ports. If you need more than 4 LAN ports, you can install a switch into your network. Good news is, most switches are plug and play and are easy to set up. All you have to do is connect Ethernet cable from the LAN port on the router to the LAN port on the switch, and then the switch is active. And most gig switches are relatively cheap, and I'll have links to cheap switches listed below. However, this switch is a 10 gig switch, which is kind of expensive. My rule of thumb is to have 1 to 2 Ethernet ports per room. This includes bedrooms, living rooms, game rooms, kitchens, and even garages. And no one ever says I have too many wired connections, because more wired is more better. There is a bit of good news because most new home builds have wired Ethernet in all the rooms. And all these Ethernet connections will go back to a network panel, which is one central location. And this is where the fiber ONT or the modem will be installed, as well as all the hardware like routers and switches. Well, what about older homes? Most older homes will not have Ethernet ports installed in the rooms. I know, it's kind of a bummer. So you will need to install these yourself or hire a low voltage installer. And just a heads up, I do have a couple of good videos on how to run your own Ethernet. I'll have links to those videos at the end of this video, so check them out. If you live in Las Vegas or Henderson, I have a low voltage installer that I can recommend. All of his contact information will be in the description. When installing Ethernet, use Cat 6 or Cat 6A, or even Cat 8. Just install whatever you can afford. Alright, step 7 is the Wi-Fi. This is the most important step to keeping your smart home smart. Smaller homes, apartments, or condominiums will usually work with a simple standalone router. All devices should connect. Larger homes and multi-level homes can be a bit more complicated. If your wireless router is on the first floor, but you need Wi-Fi on the second floor, then adding additional mesh nodes is the solution. And you may want to add additional mesh nodes to make sure you have plenty of coverage, because more coverage is more better. All mesh nodes will connect to the main router via Ethernet or wireless connection. A wired backhaul is always better because it's more secure, faster, and reliable. However, running Ethernet can be difficult and time-consuming, and a wireless backhaul is a great option. However, a wireless backhaul can be less secure, less reliable, and much slower. So pick your poison, wired or wireless. Okay, step number 8 is Wi-Fi optimization. For the fastest Wi-Fi, connect to the 5 or 6 GHz band. If your devices are older, they may not be able to connect to the 6 GHz band. This band is for Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7 devices only. Otherwise, just connect to the 5 GHz band. It's plenty fast. In larger homes, you may have to connect to the 2.4 GHz band because this band has a longer range. However, it's much slower. If you enable Smart Connect on your device, then you will connect to either the 2.4 or 5 GHz band, depending on the bandwidth needs and how close you are to your router. And just a heads up, do not connect IoT devices to this band, because IoT devices cannot use the 5 GHz band. And lucky for you, most routers have a separate IoT network, so use it. Now let's not forget about the MLO band, which is found in Wi-Fi 7 routers. The MLO band will use fast switching between the 2.4, the 5, and the 6 GHz band. And the MLO band can be very fast. But once again, you'll need Wi-Fi 7 devices to connect to it. Like I said before, with all of your smart home devices like thermostats, lights, and cameras, connect them to the IoT network. And one more thing, using the guest network is a must when having parties or gatherings. Set up a sign in the entryway with the SSID and password, and this keeps your friends and family off the main network. And when the party's over, turn off the guest network. Alright, step number 9, security. It's important to remember, any home, business, or enterprise network can be hacked. However, there are steps to avoid these security issues. First, secure all your hardware. Change all default credentials and default passwords. Use 16-character passwords with upper and lowercase, special characters, and numbers. Second, update the router's firmware and turn on automatic updates. Third, rename all of your SSIDs. Never use the default SSID. Fourth, use strong encryption. Enable WPA3 if your router supports it. Otherwise, use WPA2. Fifth, disable WPS, which is Wi-Fi protected setup. Don't use it. Sixth, disable UPnP, Universal Plug and Play. Is a huge security risk. Seventh, disable remote management. Another huge security risk. Eighth, create a guest network and use it. Ninth, enable router firewalls and keep them on. 10th, monitor the connected devices via the admin panel. This allows you to check for unknown devices. 11th, use a VPN, virtual private network, and VPNs will encrypt your traffic. Most new routers will allow for VPN installations. And you can also buy a VPN router like this. I personally use PIA VPN, private internet access, but use whatever you want. 12th, make sure all connected devices are updated, like smartphones, laptops, and tablets. And 13th, make sure your Wi-Fi passwords are long and strong. I recommend 16 characters or more. But this is all you need for a fast, reliable, and secure home network. Alright, step number 10 is enjoy your home network. There are way more topics we could discuss, like VPNs, Pi-holes, and media servers. But this is all you need for a fast, reliable, and secure home network. I'm Michael Scott, thanks for watching, and happy networking.